I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers.
I don't know what you're doing.
I want you to get your mouse.
I want you to check me out.
And I want you to check me out.
Get ready to do this. It's the relationship rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Then subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the relationship rehab.
Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Revin, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'm gonna talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things. You know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, and subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' grow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just want to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go.
To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you, telling you. Welcome. What's going on, everybody? It's about to go down. First and foremost, let me apologize for last night's technical difficulties. I had every intention of doing a show last night, and literally 10 to 15 minutes before I was going to start the show, my computer updated, and then my XSplit broadcasting software updated, and once it did that, all of my settings got lost. TW1984 said, you owe us an extra 30 minutes. I got you. But it went out, and all of my shit was like, everything was out of sync. It was like I hadn't had anything programmed into my XSplit. So yesterday I was trying to work on it and get it fixed. I was up for like an hour past after I canceled the show trying to fix it, and I got like halfway done. Went out today, got to see some old friends, came back and was working on it and got it all squared away. So it's good now. So I appreciate y'all for being patient with a brother. And like I said, I usually don't cancel shows. That might be the second one I've ever had to cancel. But nevertheless, I did. But tonight, ooh, this is the night. You'll see the light. We're going to get it tonight. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start off with my favorite part of the show, and then I have a confession to make.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107.
Yeah, let me share this. Actually, I can look at this while I talk. I can do two things at once. So let me explain something to y'all. Like I said, I have a confession I have to make. Let me explain something to y'all. I'm not the hippest cat. I'm not the guy that, especially, they're just always in the know. I know some shit, but I ain't always in the know. And being that, because I'm just an older guy, there are things, I know what I like. I know what I like. I know how I like it. And those particular things are usually what I gravitate towards. So when it comes to things like, I don't know, like cigars, everybody know I like cigars. I like to sit, smoke a cigar, talk my shit, drink my wine. That's what I do. So, good wine. But that's one of the things that I do. So because that's what I like to do, when I relax in my downtime, I do that. When it comes to hanging out, I'm the guy that want to sit outside with the nice breeze, listening to some music, cooling out. That's me. When it comes to music is pretty much like my music list that I have is pretty much the music that I used to listen to back in the day, old school and all that kind of stuff. I listen to Isley Brothers, Marvin to the Gays, listen to all of the, the old school tracks and all that stuff. That's me. And I love 80s music. I love 90s music. And a lot of the 2000 stuff too. Your Dr. Dre's, your NWAs, the classics. But there has been a small sector, and even when it comes to rap, there's been a small sector, right? I listen to Sexual Chocolate. What up, cuz? But there's a small sector of rap that I have personally not taken a liking to. I just haven't. Me being a former rapper, being a hood star and all that kind of shit that I did when I had the record label. Shout out to Wild Wild Records, nigga. But in doing that, I always would be listening to a lot of rap. I listened to keep my ear to the streets, underground rap. I liked it. I listened to all kinds of rap. But as I transitioned out of that type of that field, I pretty much stuck to the rap that I like. If I liked it and I heard it, it sounded good, good production, content could be up or down, but I pretty much like that kind of stuff. And then, as things progressed, there became new rappers as time changed, the rhyme changed, what we always used to say. There was certain rap that I just did not like. I mean, even how everybody went crazy. Y'all remember the dude Designer. Everybody liked Designer. Designer literally was like a James Brown on crack type of rapper. He just made shit up and with no rhyme or reason, and he just said shit. He be like, blah, 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 blah. The nigga was scatting and everything, and I didn't like it. Not that it was bad. Only one song I like. Well, I like two songs of Designer. No, I only like one song from Designer. That was Panda. And 30 niggas did remixes to it. The coldest remix of Panda, though, is the one that T-Pain did. T-Pain killed Panda. Out of everybody that did it, I like T-Pain's version of Panda the best. But that was it. And then there were other things and other rappers that came along, and I never really just took to it. Some of the new stuff I did, I was more of a, give me some Kendrick Lamar, listen to that. I love my man J. Cole. I was even talking to my cousin the other week. Shout out to my cousin Tuck. I was like, hey man, who do you find yourself listening to? I like them both, but I find myself listening to J. Cole a little bit more than Kendrick. And he was the opposite way. We just chopping it up, talking about hip hop. But then there was a section of rap that I just could not get into. It never hit me. I only liked a couple of the artists. Right, I listened to Joyner Lucas. Yes, love me some Joyner Lucas. Yep, Most Def, all that. And that would have to be, yes, Chris V, drill music. I could not get it. I didn't like it. That nigga said, "Vax that thing." Oh, boy, that was a hell of a video Tommy did the other day. I love that. He snapped. Tommy snapped. Hey, I don't know if Tommy watching or not, but that video he did about Vax that thing up, I have not seen Tommy in the zone like that in a while, and I'm telling you, it was so refreshing to see it. He killed that video. But if you ain't seen that, you need to go find that video. Go to his page and check that video out. That show he did about that, it was awesome. But drill music, I couldn't get into it. The most I remember King Von just didn't like it. Chief Keef really didn't like it. The only thing I liked about Chief Keef was woo. I couldn't get into it. Lil Durk, I listened to a little bit of Lil Durk. Like, and I'm talking a little bit, like maybe 2-3 songs. That was just it. I just couldn't get into it. Who else was doing drill music? I can't think of the other dude name. All them niggas. MGD or MFD Duck. Couldn't get into it. It was so many. While you listen to Kane, I do listen to Kango Kid. Kango Kid do a new video every week. Shout out to Kango Kid. You know that's family. I gotta listen to Kango Kid. I got to. Just like V City, just like G Dot, I gotta listen to them. But it was like I could not get into any of that. FBG Duck, thank you, Chris. I couldn't listen to it. Fat Trail, never heard of him. King Louie, I heard of King Louie. Couldn't listen to it. But then, G Herbo, nope. But then, there was somebody that I listened to, and I said, who in the hell is this? And I have been listening to this dude for like the past week and a half. I can't let it go. I done downloaded both his albums, looking for the third album, and I'm telling you, this nigga here, he actually got some good shit. I ain't seen nobody put his name in there. I don't know, but I know everybody know who it is. I mean, you know who I'm talking to. You gonna know who I'm talking about once I say it. Nope, not Bibby, not OG Bobby. Yeah, G Herbo, he said G Herbo can't stay on beat. Nope. But this nigga, Pop Smoke, oh my goodness. Dude, what this nigga did in a year and a half to 2 years, bro, that nigga had some straight up fucking talent. Fuck what you talking about. That nigga was on his way. That nigga was on his way. It was like the first time I heard it, I kind of said, the first thing I said was like, dude kind of sound like 50. But that ain't, I knew it wasn't 50. I said, that ain't 50, but he kind of sound like it. But then I found out they all from the same era. That Brooklyn drill is that deal. Pop Smoke is good. I was really impressed. I've been listening to Pop Smoke, like I said, about the past 7 days. I can't let it go. Christopher Walken, niggas say they outside. Niggas say they outside. Boy, I'm on it. Welcome to the party. I'm on it. Hello. I like my bitches red bone, ass fat, jello. Nigga, I'm telling you, I am listening to that Pop Smoke. I can't turn it loose. I'm telling you, this nigga had, that nigga's voice. I like his style. He got it's like in 5 Heartbeats. I like your showmanship and your style. When I'm listening to the music, I just be like, yeah. Hold up, wait. I like that nigga, man. I'm just telling you. I don't know. I'm not one to be, hey, I understand what drill music is doing to our young folks. But that's why you need daddies at home. You need daddies at home to tell you, hey, boy, that shit is for entertainment purposes only. Don't you go out here and try to live that shit. That's what you need. But I'm telling you, yeah, boy, relationship rehab, Brian is a fan of that nigga Pop. I'm telling you, I'm a fan of that nigga Pop Smoke. Boy, I'm telling you, I can't turn it loose. I can't. Rest in peace, man. That dude, yeah, they really did take a... And the way he died, oh, man. I had heard about how he died, that he just got killed, but I didn't really, like I said, because I wasn't really a fan. I wasn't really listening for it, wasn't checking for him. I didn't really go into the story. Nigga, I done went into the story, got the police report, saw what the police said, everything. And man, dude, it's one of those things where I don't know what his life was like in them streets of Brooklyn and what he did out there, but for that shit to come back on him like it did, man, you get caught in the shower when some niggas coming to rob you. And it was like they said he was fighting for his life. He was fighting like wasn't giving up the shit. And I get it. Because in a lot of instances like that, niggas will kill you anyway. When you have niggas that especially little young niggas, I think Pop Smoke was 50's son. I don't know about all that. Hold up. Wait. I don't know about all that, but I'm just saying, when you have young niggas like that, see, the problem with young niggas that's in these streets, they don't have no code and no honor. So therefore, it ain't always just about getting the money, getting the heist. Sometimes these niggas do shit just for the sake of doing it or because they scared. I remember one time when I got robbed, and it was like I saw the fear in the robber's eyes because it was a little young nigga. And he literally had, it was like a 38 revolver, and he had it pointed right at my gut. And as I looked down, you would think this little nigga who got the drop on us, this nigga was literally holding the gun like he was offering it to me like this. You hear how it's shaking? I saw the gun shaking in his hand. I saw he was just like that. He's like, give me your chain. And he's shaking like that. But the only difference was his finger was on the trigger. And when I looked down and I saw that nigga's finger on that trigger and he's shaking, I'm like, one sudden move, one hey nigga, one what the fuck, and this nigga's pulling this trigger. Best thing to do is give it to him so he can get out the way. Go ahead, bro. I was like, go ahead. You got it all, young blood. Go ahead, man. Go on ahead. And I started praying. That was it. Because it was classic. I didn't mean to shoot him, but I shot him. That the only dude, he had it, not like this, not in my face. He had it fake pointing to my gut. He was more concerned about getting this, and his hands shaking like a motherfucker. Shaking like a motherfucker. You'd have thought that he was talking with the gun in his hand, explaining to me what the fuck he trying to do, and he was doing that just, that's why the gun was moving, because he was explaining with his hands. No, that nigga was scared as hell, and his hand was just a shaking. I'm like, man, please. Nah, I went Matrix on him. Not like this. Not like this. Don't let me catch a slug like this. Not from some little scared ass nigga in the gut. No, but that's just what it was. And it was like, it was terrible just to see how that young nigga who had so much ahead of him. And dude, I was so impressed at how quick he rose like that and was that good of an artist in a 1.5 to 2 years. And he had 50 pushing him and giving him a hand. He had all these other niggas. But his first album was all him. Woo. And his second album was I think he had a couple of people feature on that one, but it was like he was on his way. And to lose it all, lose your life like that over some niggas that just want to rob you, man, I can't with young niggas. I can't. And that's why I tell people now, I try to stay away from these young niggas because I know I'm not going to give them a chance. I'm not going to try to see what the young brother is doing and how the young brother, I'm not with none of that shit. You get in my way, I see you as ops, then I'm going to put you down. I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna drop you like a bad habit, whatever, hot potato, whatever you want to call it. Shout out to my man Terrell Miller, who over there in the chat over there at the United Guns of America, and GD Pop. Shout out to you guys. But that's just what it was, man. So with that being said, let's move on to some of the drill music inspired action that went on in the city of Chicago over the weekend. Now, y'all all know that there were a total roll-up, I believe, was at 104 people shot, 19 killed in Chicago, right? We knew it was going to be high. I think the last show I did before that, it was at 92 or 90. Yeah, it was 92. But we knew he was going to get to triple digits. I mean, it just wouldn't have been a 4th of July. Just ain't a 4th of July in Chicago unless you get into triple digits, right? But what's so not funny, it's not even funny no more. What's so remarkably just the audacity that these politicians have now at this point in time to actually start pointing the finger and blaming each other, it's insane. Shout out to my boy Raylon. Boy, we go way back like Cadillacs with the diamond in the back and the sunroof top. What's up, brother? But it's amazing to me to see how they are finger pointing now. And it's a thing to where if you're the leader of the city, you're the leader of this community, if you ain't gonna step up and take ownership and begin to be the agent of change, then if you ain't gonna do it, who gonna do it? And it's so amazing to me to see that there's somebody who is literally in charge of the city. Mayor Lightfoot, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, whatever excuses you want to make, is literally in charge of the city. The man, if you will, the HNIC, whatever you want to call it, the captain, the general, El Presidente, whatever you want to call it. This person is in charge and is literally taking the opportunity to play this game. Not me, it's them. It's not me, it's them. It's not me, it's them. And then the superintendent, a.k.a. David Brown, a.k.a. Chicago's top cop, the chief, if you will, of Gotham, he joins right in and gets in lockstep with her and starts blaming other people as well. It ain't me, it's them. It ain't me, it's them. So Lori Lightfoot is calling on the federal government, saying it's their fault, and they're the ones that need to step up. David Brown is calling on and pointing his finger at Kim Foxx, saying the cops is doing their job. It's the prosecuting attorneys. And it's like in all of this, with everything that they're doing, playing politics, playing the blame game, the fact that you have people dying makes it all the worse and all the more insulting. And I don't understand how the people of Chicago have not just went ape shit. And I'm not one to say this and to get all into this because I know it can be hard or difficult to do. If there's a way to what do they call, like they did Gavin Newsom, to recall the governor of California, they damn sure should be doing it here in Chicago. There's no reason why the city of Chicago and the citizens of Chicago should not be calling for Lori Lightfoot to resign. They're calling for the top cop. They're calling for David Brown to resign before they call for her to resign. Hell, she was here way before him. She was there way before this nigga got there. She brought that nigga in. So that should let you know, hey man, let's get to the root of the problem. Let's get to the root of the problem. It's a shame to see such a city like Chicago be in the state that it's in, and it's all because of piss poor leadership. That's it. People refusing to do the right things. Yes, and Kim Foxx is pointing fingers as well. Yes, she is. They're all doing this to each other, saying, y'all, it ain't me, it's them. It ain't me, it's them. And all the while, people are dying. Mel Yer said, and I thought Rom was bad when I lived in Chicago. Hey, man, I said that too. I thought it literally couldn't get any worse than Rahm Emanuel. And I had high hopes for him when he first got in there. But shortly after he was in, I said, oh, he bullshitting. He just here for the check. He here for the check and for the power and to figure out ways to enrich himself. But it's like to see this going on and to see people doing this, and these are the leaders, what the hell is going to happen from here on? It's insane. So let's go ahead and let's dive in, and we're going to see what this here is all about. Is that it? Yeah. Now here's where it gets sticky. Or it's starting to get out of hand.
And the Congress needs to do its job.
What's happened now is it ain't just black folk. It ain't just young niggas. It ain't just the street thugs. Now you get innocent, white, young, promising college students catching slugs. And ain't nothing worse than to have a good, wholesome white person catch a bullet that was totally avoidable and unnecessary. Now, this, I believe, is that one thread that you really needed to get pulled in order for people to be like, all right, I've had enough of this bull malarkey. This bitch has got to do something. And I think that it's not just an environment thing. It's not just, well, that's how it is in the hood. I used to say that because it used to be true. Where you could say, oh man, this shit only happened in the hundreds. Oh, this shit only happens over here. No, the shit is happening pretty much anywhere. Anywhere where you got ops, anywhere where you got an opportunity for some shit to go down and the shit to go left, motherfuckers is fighting because they don't have any respect for the streets anymore. They don't have respect for the police anymore. They don't give a fuck. The whole idea of defund the police, or AKA fuck 12, all of that shit, it is now getting believed in and bought into by the criminals. And they're starting to see, oh, ain't shit gonna happen. And when you got cats saying that, thinking that, and buying into ain't shit gonna happen, everybody's in trouble. Everybody's in trouble. Because now it's going to be a thing of, I'm not necessarily looking to hurt these people, but if they here or if I'm in the area and I see ops, it's going down. This shit is just like fuck. I'm telling y'all, when my brother Easy said it, it was so fucking true. Chicago is like Gotham City when Bane went there and took the motherfucker over, and that whole time of them just, was it like a year that they was just in the city? No fucking law. Had the police sitting in the corner, and they were their own fucking autonomous zone essentially. That's exactly what it reminds me of. It is like Bane has taken over Chicago and Batman is gone. It's a fucking tragedy to see how much violence and how much shit is going on in Chicago while the politicians are standing around with their hands in their pockets. So let's see what happens. Dang it, why is this not playing? There we go.
Yesterday, President Biden stopped at Chicago's O'Hare Airport to meet with the mayor there, Lori Lightfoot, about the city's surge in violent crime. The meeting came after a violent holiday weekend where an officer and 2 federal agents were shot and wounded in broad daylight. And just days after, this child right here, this student, a University of Chicago student,
The University of Chicago, not just a university in Chicago, the University of Chicago. Ivy League, top shelf, the University of Chicago kid, yeah.
Jr. died after being hit by a stray bullet on a city train. Our next guest is also a student at the University of Chicago, and she wrote an op-ed calling out the mayor's soft on crime policies. Her name is Audrey Unverfurth, and she joins us now. Good morning, Audrey.
You see what happens here? Now, this person really don't know this kid, but she saw what happened. I mean, she understands what's happened, and she ain't on the news talking about we got to put the guns down, y'all. She ain't making an airbrush t-shirt selling it. She didn't start a GoFundMe. And she didn't get on TV with a fucking bonnet on, crying, talking about, we got to stop this, y'all. This person was the best person ever. He made us all laugh. He was my angel. He took care of us. He made us feel he was so funny. He was everything to her. That's what she didn't do. She wrote a fucking article calling this shit out.
Good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much for
You're
having
welcome.
me.
I know you didn't know Max Lewis. He was heading to an internship at a finance firm. He was from Denver. His parents sent him off to college, and he's not going to come home. He was killed there in Chicago. How is the school reacting, and what are your friends saying?
We're all just so incredibly devastated. I mean, it's just so senseless. And as you say, I didn't know him personally, but his face is familiar to me. His name was familiar. He's someone who I know. I passed on the quad countless times, and everyone in the community just says he was such a light in their lives. Like, his friends have been speaking out, saying he was just so humble and so kind. He was the president of his fraternity. He was double majoring. He had a really bright future ahead of him. He was so involved in the community. And as you say, he was just viciously and senselessly gunned down on his way home from his summer internship. He was struck in the back of the neck, and he was 20 years old. And it's so devastating. And I'm so very sorry. It's just heartbreaking.
I want to read a quote from your op-ed. You said, "I've ridden the CTA countless times. When my friends and I board the train, we shouldn't fear that we'll be murdered by a stray bullet. When we sit down on the bus, we shouldn't worry that we'll be knifed to death. That's absurd. Thanks to the incompetence of Lightfoot, this lunacy has become a reality." Joe Biden was...
Now, you know what's so funny about that? And when I heard that, I laughed. As fucked up as it sounded, I had to laugh because that's how I rode the train. That's how I rode the bus. Growing up in my neighborhood, that's exactly what we thought could happen. A knife fight, somebody could wind up getting stabbed. Somebody could wind up getting shot. Somebody could wind up getting, on the lighter end, somebody just getting moved on. See, back in the day, that's what we used to call it. Niggas getting moved on when you have a bunch of niggas that just whoop somebody's ass. Or maybe just getting robbed for their alligator skin hat, or a nigga snatching their starter jacket, or a nigga asking you what time is it and be like, yeah, give me that watch. That was the least that we expected on the bus. We wanted to get on the bus. We wanted to get off the bus so that you wouldn't get your ass whooped. That's why I didn't want to ride the bus. I'd wait for my boy to give me a ride, or I hope somebody would come pick me up, because I didn't want to ride the bus when I knew that shit that she's saying should never happen was actually happening. I'm a meatball. All you Mormon trumpeters do is repeat each other's pathetic failed insults. Kind of sad. And then we have people blaming someone for them killing each other. Oh, wow. Hang on to that, meatball. If you can just hold your mule for a little bit, I will actually address your questions and your statements that you're making. But anyway, it's amazing to just see that someone who's living in the city and is at, what up, Huggy? Living in the city, but is living in a part of the city where that isn't even a reality for them. It was so much fuck shit that I saw happening on the CTA bus, the CTA train. It's like amazing to me that there's somebody who could be living in that city and not even have any idea of what happens on public transportation in the hood. It's amazing. It is amazing. So that was really just, I was just like floored with that. And then I had to realize, damn nigga, your own fucking PTSD, you've rationalized that shit as being an expectation and functional, and functioned in it.
They are shaking hands with her on the tarmac. Do you think the two of them will do anything about this?
I fear they won't. I hope they will, but I fear that yesterday was just more empty platitudes, more promises that won't be kept. I mean, Lori Lightfoot had the nerve recently to say that crime in Chicago is on the decline. That's a blatant lie. Crime is not on the decline. Homicides and shooting rates are up. And as we've seen, Chicago had its most murderous weekend of the year over the 4th of July. Over 90 people were shot. And I fear that that was just an opportunity for a photo op yesterday with President Biden, and I don't have confidence in Lightfoot anymore.
Well, Audrey, I know you're planning to go back for your senior year. God bless you and stay safe.
Thank you.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Thanks
for coming on. You did an excellent job. You have a bright future.
Thank you.
So it's like, I get the fact that what she did and why she did it. I totally understand that. And my thing is the fact that you went and actually did something as opposed to just getting on the news and crying about it and said, oh, it's just so terrible, we got to stop, because that does nothing. That does nothing. It's insane. Hey, Meatball, now I asked you to hold your mule and I will give you an opportunity to speak, but I'm not just going to let you just run amok in my chat. I'm all for anybody being able to voice their opinion, but you not just going to run wild in my chat. So if you can't contain yourself, if you can't restrain yourself for a bit, and I will give you an opportunity to speak if you would like, then if you can't do that and respect my platform, then just leave. You don't have to be here. No one's forcing you here, so you can just leave if you can't do that. So I'm trying my best to be as diplomatic as possible, but just hang on and you'll get your moment. I promise you, you will. You will get your moment. So let's go ahead, and I want to move to this other piece right here. And this is the part to me that was just like, wow, this is what it's gotten to. And this is just well, I'll let you see it.
And the Congress needs to do its job and pass common sense gun control.
An urgent message tomorrow for President Biden when he comes to the Chicago area. Good evening. I'm Dawn Hasbrook.
And I'm Anthony Ponce in tonight for Corey. President Biden will be in Crystal Lake tomorrow, and when he lands, Mayor Lightfoot will personally ask for help after our...
Crystal Lake is a rich white suburb, not in Chicago, but it's a white suburb outside. But I have a question. What the hell does make sense gun laws have to do with the actual crime that's going on in the city? I don't get that. And it's like, just like how when you hear people say, yeah, these talking points that people make all the time. Well, if you listen to that talking point, that makes no sense. Because if what she was saying was actually true, then this would be happening everywhere. This would be happening everywhere in the country. But it is not. It is not. Oddly enough, it's only happening in select cities, and those select cities have two things in common. Two things in common. They are ran by Democrats, and they have very strict gun laws. Homicides happen everywhere, but what's going on here in Chicago, that's not going on in every city. You can argue homicides are up. Yeah, homicides are up. Crime is up, which happens when the economy tanks. However, it ain't out of control. Show me somewhere else, and I always say this when people talk about, see, black on black crime is a myth. It don't exist. That's not real. It's just a narrative that's being told by the media. Show me another city where 104 niggas get shot and 19 are dead and it ain't predominantly black, then we can talk. Show me the Davenport, Iowa. Show me the city in North Dakota, South Dakota. Show me the city in Montana where this shit is happening and it's 104 niggas shot, and we can have a conversation. That's all I'm asking. And when you ask people this, and when people say this kind of shit to you, and they try to avoid this, they say, well, see, I can't. Exactly. The only places that come close to this are Detroit, New York, Miami, LA. Just saying. I'm just telling you what I know. So you want to talk about, hey, I understand everybody got their perspective, but when you, right, St. Louis, but when you're talking about the actual facts and putting that with the numbers, that's what it is. So this isn't a thing of it just being where make sense gun laws would fix this issue. Baltimore, it's not make sense gun laws on a federal level that would fix these issues. Hell, if you got such a problem, make your own gun laws if that's the case. But you've already done that because Chicago had some of the most strictest gun laws in the goddamn country. But it still didn't work. They've only had concealed carry for what, 4 years now? Maybe 5? This shit was out of control way before then. It was called Chirac when they still had no concealed carry in the city. So what other make sense gun laws are needed to prevent criminals from committing crimes? Because the last I checked, criminals don't obey the law. There it is.
Violent holiday weekend.
When we're seeing historic levels of violence, homicides and shootings up 20, 30, 40% in some instances, dear God, there's got to be a sense of urgency at the federal level. What?
It's only happening. Okay, so here's what she's saying. She's literally not acknowledging the facts about her own city. Number one, this isn't just a recent thing. This has been going on before she even got into office. This is before she got into office. This has been happening and going on when Rahm Emanuel was in office. 2 terms. So that's 8 years for him. This was going on way before then. So you can't blame this on COVID. You can't blame this on, well, we've just had with the economy and the shutdown and everything. That's why so many people die. Nope. Bullshit to the back. When I was living in Chicago, the record for 4th of July weekend was 86. And I ain't talking about the year. I'm talking about 86. In the weekend, 86 niggas got shot. It was like 86. I want to say it was 86 and 12 or 86 and 18 or something like that. They were shooting so much in the all-girl gardens that the police abandoned it. Between the fireworks, the gunshots, and the people that were getting shot, they literally pulled out of the gardens. There it is. We could hear the shooting going on in the gardens from where we were. We could hear them niggas shooting all night. Nigga, the police in our community that we knew, they was like, man, we had to pull out. We was like, what? They say, man, there's so many people getting shot and we don't know who's shooting fireworks and who's shooting guns, but they're calling the ambulance because people are getting ambulance. They're calling the ambulances because people are getting shot. But we don't know where the shooting is coming from because niggas is shooting firecrackers and guns at each other to make it seem so it's so difficult to where they can't pinpoint it. And we had to get out of there or we was going to get shot. That's how bad it was. So this ain't something that just happened. This ain't something that just started. She's fucking lying. She's trying to give you a half truth so that she can stick to her narrative of this being a federal problem. Because it's not. It's just not.
What more is it going to take?
Mayor Lightfoot making that plea after a holiday weekend marred by violence as the number of people shot hit triple digits for the first time in 4 years. But Chicago's top cop defending his officers and their game plan, saying they did all they could to keep the peace. Fox 32's Dane Placco looks at those staggering numbers and how the superintendent is explaining it.
Chicago's police officers are doing their part in protecting the people of Chicago.
Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown says don't blame his department for what was likely the most violent holiday weekend in Chicago history. 100 people were shot over the 3-day period, 18 of those killed. 13 of the shooting victims were children or teens, including a 1-month-old child now in critical condition, and a pair of 13.
What gun law is going to help that? What makes sense gun law is going to stop a 1-month-old from getting shot? What weapons ban has ever stopped a kid from getting shot, a 1-month-old? Please tell me. Please tell me. What makes sense gun law is, and you notice how they always just say make sense gun laws and weapons of war. Those are the words that are always being used and thrown out there. They all have the same playbook. They say it's make sense gun laws and getting military grade or weapons of war off the streets. How in the hell do you get a criminal to follow the law? I'll wait. And no one can answer this question when I've asked it. The debates that I've had with friends, debates I've had about this, nobody can answer that question. What makes sense gun law is going to make a criminal abide by that law? Why aren't other cities having this problem? Why aren't other cities asking for make sense gun laws? How come other cities aren't having 104 niggas shot in a weekend? I think total across the country, I think it was something like 230 shootings over the holiday weekend. How the fuck does Chicago have 104 of that 200 and something? It was either 230 or 280. How the fuck does Chicago have 104 of those? He said it sounded knowledge hungry, said it sounds like the purge of Chicago. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. And all they keep doing is this, pointing the finger saying it's not us. It's not us. We're doing our job. We need the federal government to step in.
Year-olds hit during a mass shooting at 61st and Wabash. The 15th District Police Commander and a sergeant were shot trying to break up a gathering in the Austin neighborhood, which police say now appears to be intentional.
We have verifiable evidence, someone discharging a firearm in their direction, and that's when they get struck.
So why all the violence? Brown contends it's part of it.
Oh, okay, I stand corrected. It was 400 shot and 200 killed. If that's the case, why would Chicago have a fourth of the 400 shot? Chicago owns a fourth of it. One city. And then if it's 19 killed, that's 20 killed, 10% of the killings, of the deaths. One city spread across, 51 cities, 51 states? How is that? How is that a gun law issue and you have this happening? It's not a gun law issue.
A national surge that's impacting all big cities. And he says Chicago's homicide rate has actually climbed far less than others. And
now that is true. It has climbed far less than others, but it's one of the highest, if not the highest in the goddamn country. So it's like, this was just like when the other video I did the other day she's talking about how crime is going down. Bitch, if you averaging 75 to 100 shootings per weekend, the first weekend it comes up and you hit 63 instead of your normal 75 to 100, how the fuck is that progress? And that's what she's doing. She's trying to make it seem like if a number goes down, it's improvement, when the number is fucking astronomical in the first place. That's just like if you get a $10,000 electricity bill and we say, okay, well, we're going to knock off 10%. So your bill is actually being decreased by 10%. Motherfucker, I still got a $9,000 electricity bill. What the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't help me. My normal electric bill is $150 to $200. It is now $10,000, and then you're gonna tell me you're gonna decrease everybody's phone bill by fucking 10%. There's a 10% decrease that we put automatically on all electricity bills. So instead of me owing $10,000, I owe $9,000. Who the fuck has a $9,000 electricity bill? Who the fuck has 104 people shot in the fucking city in a weekend? Not in 6 months. Not in 10 months. Do you realize that in some areas they don't have, let's just say if it was averaged over 10 months, 10 people a month getting shot in that city. Do you realize there are some cities that don't have any shootings? Have maybe 2 murders a year? So it's not like this is just great improvement and we're just conflating the numbers to make it look bad. No, it's fucked up.
Again, he points blame at the Cook County court system, accusing judges of refusing to lock up violent criminals.
It's unsafe to release violent people in a community that has a high level of retaliation back into community and then be surprised that people shoot at targeting these people.
Brown says police recovered 244 illegal guns over the holiday weekend while working long overtime hours and facing multiple dangerous situations, including rocks and bottles thrown from a crowd of 1,500 teens swarming Michigan Avenue Sunday night.
I am truly proud of their efforts over the weekend. They literally risked life and limb. Strategy-wise, we did our part.
Now, back in 2017, there were 103 people shot over the 4th of July weekend, but that was a 5-day weekend, not like this year's 3-day weekend.
Now, you tell me, how do you deny that fact? 5-day holiday weekend, 103. A 3-day holiday weekend, 104. But this bitch has the balls to say, well, I'm sorry, she has the ovaries to say crime is going down. What makes sense gun law have you needed back in 2017 that you still ain't got in 2021? I'll wait. It's all bullshit. And just like now, and I'm going to agree with David Brown here saying, y'all motherfuckers ain't locking up fucking murderers. These motherfuckers are getting out on no bond, getting out on damn near very light bonds, not bearer bonds and not cash bonds, but they're getting out on these bullshit ass bonds, if any, and they're getting released back into the same area to do what? Commit more crimes, to intimidate those people who may have told on them. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your own community, to the people in your community, to where you're not prosecuting and locking these motherfuckers up that you know are committing crimes? You locking them up, giving them time, and keep putting them back out on house arrest in less than 12 months. What kind of shit is that? And y'all ain't gonna say that's the problem? They confiscated 240 guns over the weekend. Were there any people attached to those guns? And if these are illegal guns, what are you doing to those people that actually have them? Those are the questions that nobody's asking, and that's bullshit.
Dane Placco, Fox 32 News.
And fallout from the weekend violence is fast and furious. One alderman wants Superintendent Brown to be fired.
We cannot continue down this path. He must be fired.
North
long.
Another alderman wants the Illinois National Guard deployed to Chicago. Our political editor, Mike Flannery, will have more coming up later this hour.
So it's like, I get the fact that you're saying, hey, we need to get the police superintendent out of here, but he's not the person that's not arresting people. He's not the person that's saying, hey, instead of asking for make sense gun laws, why not ask for maybe stronger bonds? Or bails? So people can't just get out on $100 bond or no bond? How about asking for harsher and tougher sentencing? So these motherfuckers that do commit these crimes don't just turn around and get out. When they're supposed to be serving 8 years, they out in 2. They're supposed to be serving 5 and out in 1, out in 2.5. The fact that these motherfuckers are looking at the time that they can get and they instantly cutting the shit in half, and that's what they thinking they got to do, that's the problem right there. Man, you gotta get 6 years, man. That don't mean I gotta do 3 shit. I get good time, good off time, trustee time, time and a half, whatever the fuck I get, day for day, and I get a check too. Makes no sense. Let's check this out.
And back to our top story, Mayor Lightfoot and Chicago aldermen face off after the year's deadliest weekend of criminal violence.
Our political editor, Mike Flannery, joining us now with more on this ongoing crisis. Mike.
Well, Anthony and Sally, the mayor ignored the rising chorus, calling her to account for not delivering yet on campaign promises to reduce violence. The mayor did promise new help for victims and others who've been grievously hurt by the violence.
I can't imagine losing your child and then feeling like your pain and your suffering isn't heard, isn't reflected. And we've got to do more as a city, and I take on that responsibility and that obligation to make sure that we are programmatically reaching out and providing more support to the victims, the survivors, and the witnesses, and we will do that.
Details to come in the days ahead, the mayor said. She and Police Superintendent Brown have been critical of others in the criminal justice system. State's Attorney Kim Foxx tweeted a reply late today, finger-pointing instead of talking honestly about the violence plaguing our city doesn't help bring solutions that make our communities safer. It starts with apprehending those who pull the trigger. Police must make an arrest before a case reaches the courthouse door.
Now you tell me if that ain't finger-pointing and bullshitting. She's literally just going to say, well, if y'all would bring people, and lock people up and apprehending those people who pull the trigger, then police got to make an arrest first. Bitch, we are making the arrest. You the bitch that's letting everybody go. And my thing would be this. This is what Mayor Lightfoot, this is what David Brown should have been saying years ago. They should have been saying this shit last year before last. When all that bullshit went down with Juicy Smollett and they got that motherfucker off. That was this bitch that did that. She got Juicy Smollett off with that fake ass fucking report and that fake crime that he reported. She let that motherfucker walk. She pulled strings thanks to a nudge by Michelle Obama, who called this bitch and said, yeah, you need to go ahead and let this boy go. And she did. It's all bullshit. So you got one person saying, yeah, well, it's the attorney general that ain't prosecuting these people. Then you got the attorney general saying, well, it's the police that ain't arrested these people for us to prosecute. Then you got the mayor saying, this is all because the federal government ain't making no make sense gun laws for us. The fuck that got to do with what's going on in your city and the shit's not happening anywhere else? The federal government is something that is put in place in order to help regulate equality for all of the states. We here to help all of the states get their shit together. Now, if everything that's been given across the board is equal and just, fine. Don't ask us to make laws for everybody because your city is out of control. That makes no fucking sense. That makes no fucking sense. You gonna ask us to make laws for everybody else who ain't having this problem because you having this problem. And we can clearly point out as to why you're having this problem. Insane.
Southside Alderman wants the Illinois National Guard to patrol downtown in the wake of this past weekend's unrest and violence in the West before a case reaches the courthouse door. A Southside Alderman wants the Illinois National Guard to patrol downtown in the wake of this past weekend's unrest and violence there.
We need to bring in the National Guard to secure the perimeter of downtown and to work along with the police to free up more officers to come from downtown back into the communities where we can help, flood the communities where the resources have been taken out of.
Asked about.
Now, he actually has a point as to what he's saying as far as an immediate solution, as far as a tourniquet to what's going on right now. With all of the task force you can get, having other people come in, having the federal government come in to assist you in task force established and things like that, to have an immediate effect on the crime in the city. And shout out to Alderman Anthony Beal, because this actually makes fucking sense. To have an immediate effect on what's going on with the crime in the city, you bring in the National Guard to patrol and to actually secure downtown, because it's not a lot of shootings going on downtown. So you now have an established police force downtown that is separate from your Chicago police. Those police officers that are normally detailed downtown, that are normally stationed downtown, you take those officers and you put them in your high crime areas. Makes sense. I know you caught it. Yep. You would free up your own officers who know the lay of the land, who know the area, who know how to get around. That's what you would do. But what will happen when, one, the National Guards get shot or killed, two, the National Guard shoots and kills the first black youth without a gun? You're not listening, right-wing vegan. One more time for the people in the cheap seats. Let me explain it to you. You take the National Guard and you put them in downtown Chicago. For those of you who don't know about Chicago, who don't live in Chicago, I understand why you may not understand this. Downtown Chicago is not a high crime area when it comes to gun violence. And ain't a bunch of motherfuckers down there going crazy, shooting at ops and all of that. Shout out to Helene Wortham, hit your boy with with $5. Appreciate you. It's not happening down there. Ain't no drive-bys and all that shit going on in downtown. Right, the Loop is safe. Thank you, Jesse. The Loop is safe. You don't have to have 35, you don't have to have 5 National Guardsmen on each corner in the streets of Chicago. You don't have to do that. You could literally put them in vehicles, because Chicago has vehicles, and have them patrol and go on calls. Absolutely could do it. Not a problem. Those are right. The fact that you can say mob hit, the Loop ain't safe, look at Lil Reese, look at FBG Duck, that's it. That's exactly why. But when you do have people come down to the city, when you have people want to come down to Chicago Magnificent Mile, niggas want to come down to Grant Park and wild out, you have a capable police force that is there to keep motherfuckers in check. So what you then will be able to do is you're not trading off security, you're actually expanding it. So I'm going to put these cops that don't really know the lay of the land down in the city where they can be a lot safer, figure shit out, and get a better lay of where they're at downtown. It's a lot easier to be down there to know the ins and outs than to be out in the wild hundreds trying to figure out how niggas is getting through alleys, or to be over in Inglewood trying to figure out how these niggas running in and out of these motherfucking 3 flats and all that shit. No. Y'all ain't ready for that lay of the land. You need a basic area. Downtown is like a fucking grid. North is north, south is south. You can go up, down. You can get to anywhere in the city with just a little common sense. Right, you ain't got to worry about, ain't no gangways down in motherfucking downtown Chicago. And you don't have to have them in tanks. You ain't got to have them in a military vehicle. You ain't got to have all that. You can literally put them in Chicago police cars. You can literally put radios on them like Chicago police officers. They would just be in fatigues. That's it. And they could patrol the city in the downtown area and go on calls. Very simple to do. For an immediate response to what's going on in the city, to get those Chicago police officers that are downtown into the high violence areas, it would be a good idea and it would work. The other part to that is when those police officers are making those arrests, you need to prosecute them to the full extent of the law and stop putting these motherfuckers with these violent crimes on house arrest and giving them these weak ass bonds to get out of jail. That's it. He said, you running for mayor, Brian? I would run for mayor if I could win. I can't win because I'm broke as shit. I ain't got no money. So that makes sense. I'm with that. But why is it that this dude came up with a solution that makes absolutely perfect sense, but nobody else is like, yeah, that does. We should do that. Nobody else is supporting it. Why is it that a nigga who from Chicago living down in Texas got to be the one seconding what the fuck this nigga's trying to do? Because what he's trying to do is going to help people and it's going to help niggas from dying.
National Guard to patrol downtown in the wake of this past weekend's unrest and violence there.
Listen to it one more again.
We need to bring in the National Guard to secure the perimeter of downtown and to work along with the police to free up more officers to come from downtown back into the communities where we can help, flood the communities where the resources have been taken out of.
Asked about Alderman Beale's proposal, Mayor Lightfoot dismissed him as a critic who, quote, likes to grandstand, and she lamented that reporters even cover him at all. She added, quote, I don't have to say anything more about him.
If that ain't a politician, I don't know what the fuck he is. This man came up with an absolutely viable, an absolutely feasible, and a make sense, like this bitch likes to use make sense gun laws, a make sense solution to what the problem is, and her response, as opposed to saying, at least being a smart politician, is saying, well, it's something I would look at and I'd sit down and talk to him. Even if the bitch ain't gonna do it, she don't even have the fucking wherewithal to say that. She's just gonna totally dismiss him because he's not fucking holding her fucking balls and supporting her 1,000%. Bitch, you wrong, and you're fucking up the city. She comes back and says, oh, well, he grandstands. What the fuck is grandstanding about that? How the fuck is that grandstanding? The media doesn't even cover him. Because he's in his fucking community, bitch, getting shit done. Opening up community centers. Getting Little League programs for kids. That's what the fuck he's doing, as opposed to bouncing around the city, being in front of the cameras, telling fucking lies. You know where they filmed that shit at, bitch? In his office. Where he's at fucking working. Where they catch your ass at, bitch? Out and about. Talking about, I need more office time. I need more office time. Tell me what's grandstanding about this comment and this statement that he made. Somebody, please. Just tell me what's grandstanding about this. How is he grandstanding? And the fact that people saw this and didn't say shit about it, like, wait a minute, bitch, you lying.
Down in the wake of this past weekend's unrest and violence there.
We need to bring in the National Guard to secure the perimeter of downtown and to work along with the police to free up more officers to come from downtown back into the communities where we can help, flood the communities where the resources have been taken out of.
How is that grandstanding? I'll wait. Please, somebody help me. Explain it to me. What is that? Was that Denzel that said, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old? Somebody explain that to me like I'm a 5-year-old. How is what he said grandstanding? And why is it that the fact that the media isn't always covering him, that his point is not valid? Somebody explain that to me and how that's okay and what that means. Somebody explain to me what the fuck is grandstanding. I don't know why I still got my damn shoes on. Let me take these shoes off. Somebody tell me what is grandstanding. And why would that be something that a grown-ass woman who's supposed to be an adult, who is supposed to be, at the very least, a leader of her own city, that's her response? The media doesn't cover him that much anyway, so there you have it. Oh, so because I'm not on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and any other of these fucking media outlets, then what I'm saying is not correct? Or it doesn't hold any weight? It's not valid? That's what it is? And isn't this the same bitch who talked about how unjustly she's being treated because she's black and because she's a woman and because she's gay? Well, don't you think that's a little discriminatory, bitch? The fact that you won't even acknowledge a person's valid point because you feel as though he's not covered in the media enough for me to acknowledge what he's saying. And all the while, though, people, while this is all going down, 19 dead, 104 shot. $19 dead, 104 shot, and all she got for you is, we need the federal government to come up with make sense gun laws. We need the federal government to come up with make sense gun laws. That's exactly what she got for you. This man here, he got for you, hey, we bring in the National Guard. We have them relieve the police officers that are in the downtown city, in the downtown area. You have those guys secure and take care and patrol downtown. Great. You don't need them in tanks. You don't need to do them anything wild. Put them in Chicago police cars. They ride around and take calls. Perfect. You take those police officers and put them in the Wild Hunteds. Put them in Inglewood. Put them in on the west side. Put them over east in the hot areas where there's high violence and high gunplay, so that we have more officers as resources in those areas to patrol, go on calls, and lock people up. Enforce the law. And because what he said was, which is actual, is some actionables, something that can take place right now, something that can actually get done right now, she's not with it because he's a grandstander and the media doesn't cover him. How can you grandstand and not have media coverage at the same time? I'd like to know that. I would really like to know that. It makes no sense. And all the while, people are dying and people are getting shot. Straight bullshit.
Asked about Alderman Beale's proposal, Mayor Lightfoot dismissed him as a critic who, quote, likes to grandstand, and she lamented that reporters even cover him at all. She added, quote, I don't have to say anything more about him. I'm political editor Mike Flannery.
And that explains the abrasion on your palm. And she's just continued to just do whatever the fuck she wants to do and come and make these lame ass, bullshit ass statements while you got college students getting shot, 1-month-olds getting shot in the head, and you got 19 people dead in the weekend. 104 shot in 3 days. 3 days. And all she has to say is, well, nobody really covers him anyway. He's a grandstander. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense. And it's sad that there are people who are living under these conditions there are people that have to live under these type of this type of environment, have to worry about getting shot, have to worry about getting robbed, have to worry about getting stabbed, have to worry about getting beat, have to worry about their house getting broken into, have to worry about home invasions, have to worry about carjackings. You ain't mentioned that though. Carjacking's up 200%. Where's the federal law that needs to be created for that? Where are the make sense carjacking laws that would fix that? Nobody's asking that question. Y'all remember the story I did about the Chicago policeman that got I mean, not the policeman, he was a Chicago fireman that got killed trying to keep himself from getting carjacked. Where's that make sense carjacking law that she's talking about? Where's that federal government aid that's needed in order to stop that shit from happening? No, it's happening because your criminals are emboldened because they're not being penalized. They're not having to go to jail. They're going into jail. They're getting arrested, getting slaps on the wrist, if any, and they're getting let back out, whether it's on house arrest or whether charges are dismissed altogether, or they're given some bullshit ass sentence and they're right back out in no time. No time. There was a point where I think it was 80% of the homicides in Chicago were going unsolved. Well, now that number I think is down to 50%. Is that not still high as fuck? Half the people that get killed in that city don't get caught. Their killers don't get caught. But crime is down. It costs the state too much to incarcerate people nowadays. No, it don't. No, it don't. Because your prisons, the majority of them are privatized. The majority of your prisons are being funded by corporations. Exactly, they live. You got a 50% chance of not getting caught and getting away with murder in your city. 50% chance. If I kill this motherfucker, I got a 50% chance of not getting caught. Just saying. But when you're talking about these people being in prison, corporations are running these prisons now. They're giving kickbacks to the state. The states are actually making money off of people being incarcerated. People that get incarcerated, it is a business, and a profitable one at that. They are getting paid buku dollars to lock niggas up. That's why you have people getting locked up in this jail, getting transferred to that jail, getting sent over to this jail. You swap me 10, I swap you 12. I send you 2, you send me 4. They're doing that because it's a money game. Keeping those... Prison went from being a place for rehabilitation to now it's just a place where you're counting beds. You're looking at capacity. The ratio of being at capacity and having enough staff to handle that capacity so that we're profitable and making money, that's the name of the game now. That's the name of the game now. Well, the problem, RPS Corp says, well, the problem as I see it is that if there's anybody that want to comment on this, y'all, if y'all want me to open up the lines, I will. We can chop it up for about 30 minutes or so. If y'all want me to do that, just let me know. Let's see. What does he say? Well, the problem as I see it is that there are a lot of people in prison that probably shouldn't be there. And a lot of people that probably should be in prison aren't. If your justice system is not prosecuted, I mean, you don't go to jail, or you shouldn't go to jail without evidence. So if there's a lack of evidence, I get it. How often is that? Because when you go in jail and ask anybody, ain't nobody did the shit they locked up for. But the thing is, if you're locking people up that's supposed to be getting locked up, why are you letting those people that get arrested, not sent to prison, those people that are being arrested for violent crimes, why are you putting them out on no bail or sending them back home on house arrest? That is the question. Why would you do that? You would at least have them in jail for that period or have a bond so high that they can't get out of jail to where those people would actually be able to be off the streets, and those people that live in those communities would be safe until it is determined one way or the other. Because you can't get locked up without having no evidence. You can't go to jail and that 1 or 2% or 5% of motherfuckers that may be getting locked up for some bullshit, I get it. The majority of motherfuckers who get locked up are not getting locked up because there's no evidence. Sean Humphrey says she needs to refund the police at this point to hire more police officers like New York City, Boston, Houston, Los Angeles, and Minneapolis are refunding their departments due to high crime. Here's the problem, though. When you demonize your police department, you've destroyed morale with the officers that are there in the police department. Who the fuck wants to go and be the police? Let's just say the police officer head count is down by 8,000 cops. Where the fuck do you get 8,000 cops from? How the fuck do you test, have a written test, physical test, psychiatric eval, then you have academy to get through? I don't know how many officers graduate in the average academy, maybe 100 to 200. How do you have enough of those to hit that 8,000 mark, and how long does it take you to do that? Background checks has to be done. There's a lot to becoming a police officer. Then when those officers do come in, they have to be paired up with an FTO to get properly trained. How do you do all of that and get those officers in to actually be on the streets working and patrolling your areas to where you can hit that 8,000 head count you may be down by? How long does that take? That takes years, because everybody's not beating down the door to be the police nowadays. Because the minute something goes left, the minute something doesn't look right, fuck the law, it don't look right. The minute it don't look right, you stringing them up, crucifying them. That's it. That's what's happening. So when you're talking about how it can be fixed, that's why what Alderman Tony Bill said, as far as getting the National Guard in, that's something that it can happen immediately. You got some people in there that are trained, people that know how to handle guns, people that know how to patrol areas, they know how to secure perimeters, they know how to do that job. And they're right there not doing a goddamn thing right now, waiting to be deployed. You can get those people in, take care of your low volume crime areas, and get the cops that are actually working for the city, live in the city, to go into these high crime areas and actually do the job. It makes all the sense. It makes perfect sense. Just saying. Sean Humphrey says, when I'm in a cop/military family, 3 cousins, 1 grandpa, chief of police, I'm also becoming a cop in the future. I get it. But we need 8,000 more of you, Sean. 5,000 more of you. Just saying. You couldn't even get 1,000 candidates to pass all of the criteria to get into the academy right now in Chicago. I bet money. You could probably get 1,000 to apply, but I bet money you could not get 1,000 candidates ready for academy to go through the academy in order to even become police officers. You ain't gonna find 1,000 people that can pass a drug test, pass a psych eval, pass a background check, pass a written test, and pass a physical test. You couldn't get it. And I don't think there's any department that could in any of these fucked up cities. They're all there, and here's the truth. See, because this is a thing that you won't hear. This is one of those things you don't hear about police, and you can't hear it, because if you did, it wouldn't do anything but make crime worse. They won't broadcast how many officers they're short. You all have, every city has standards. You have operating standards to say, hey, I got 3 million people in this city. I need to have 80,000 cops or 100,000 cops to be able to handle the volume of these 3 million people. I got to have that. If you're under that number, you need to be recruiting police. If you can't, and that number steady declining because there are people who are leaving the department, people who are retiring, people who die. I mean, you have the transition of that could be a few hundred every year. But if you consistently have that and you're not getting in enough to go through the academy to actually become police officers, now you get to the point to where you are struggling. When you do struggle, you can't go on the news and say, we ain't got enough police, y'all. Because what's going to happen then? The criminals going to say, oh, shit, we can all just go commit crime simultaneously. Ain't enough cops to come and get us all. Let's do it. Take a chance, nigga. We out here in these streets. Jamaica Cassadine said, all that training BS. That's why. I don't understand what that means. Can you please elaborate that and express that in a complete thought and articulate yourself a little bit better so I can understand the point you're trying to make? Thank you. But that's what it is. You have all of these different quotas and criteria that you need to make in order to get these people actually on the force. Then you have to get them trained where they can actually be out on their own or with a partner. But you can't do it because you don't have enough people that are even eligible candidates to actually go through the process, because people don't want to be police anymore. They've seen what happens to them. There's still a few that still have the courage and have accepted the calling to do so, but it's not enough. They have that training, but who can really qualify for the training? Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So it's like when you're talking about like the training that they have, you really not. I guess I'm gonna make an attempt to think I understand what you're saying. You're never really ready for the job until you're actually on the job. When you go through all of those hoops that you got to go through, and you go through all that training, you get out there for your FTO training, there's still a large portion of that job that you're just not ready for. And the only way that you can get ready for it is just to be in it. You have to be out there on those streets, on those calls, to get to be the officer, to get good enough to be an effective officer in the community. What's the annual salary for entry-level police officers? Usually for CPD, I believe it's 50. I think you start at 54 or 55,000, or no, I think you start out at 52,000, and then I believe after you make your once you get off your probation, I think you get a bump up to like 55 or 56 or something like that. And then I think after that, you get like another bump after like a couple of years or something. And then it's like your steady increase or whatever that is. But it ain't enough for people to go and do that. You said they upped it to 7. That was that. Now that could be true. It could be 72,000 now. I don't know. But that was back when I was pursuing it, when I was living in the city. But if it's 72,000 now, it's still it's like when you look at what the cost of living is in the city, unless you living in the hood, unless you living in a fucked up community, it's not very much. It's enough to where you can get by. It's decent, but it's just not enough. Like, I think out in LA, they started you out at like $100,000, $90,000 or some shit like that. Still not enough, but you can at least live. But quality of life and things like that is not attractive enough to make people want to do it. It's still a job to where the actual calling of being a police officer has to be on your life in order for you to want to do it. Even now, even more so now today than ever before. So it's like it's really tough to be in that situation and to have to deal with that and to go through all of that testing, go through all that training, and then your pay really ain't that good. Now, I will say this, in all fairness, a lot of police officers will make extra money working OT and working special events. So they could probably get an extra, $8,000 to $10,000 on their bottom line, $8,000 to $15,000, depending on what they hustle is like to get that extra money. You got that extra hustle about yourself and you got the time to do it, you can add another, $8,000 to $15,000 to your bottom line over the year and make that extra money. And yeah, there are perks that come along with that job. There's a certain amount of level of privilege that you get with that job. But when you weigh that against the climate of today and how people are looking at that job and the politics of that job and what can happen to you as an entry-level officer being in the wrong situation at the wrong time and things looking the wrong way, in a lot of instances, it may not be worth it. It may not be worth it. So, because we know the training academy, they will bring you down to see if you can't do the job. I don't know what that means. But I just wanted to make sure that I pointed this out. This is something that was really just troubling to me, to see the lack of leadership and how these guys are playing around with people's lives on the line and how they're literally playing the blame game and not accepting responsibility for the situation that they're in and the situation that they've helped and played a huge part in creating and perpetuating. And nobody's really saying anything about it. And it's like the fact that I'm just a small YouTuber who do work hard for his content is out here saying it. I think that says a lot to where we need to get to and what we need to get to and the levels we need to get to so that we're actually addressing what's going on from a reality standpoint as opposed to a political standpoint and people trying to have their agendas being met. It makes no sense when there are people's lives on the line. And people are dying every weekend. People are getting shot every weekend. It makes no sense. Shout out to me, Goldilocks. Hit your boy with $10. Thank you so much. Just saying. So, are there any other questions that anybody may have had? I'm going to read through these super chat. Not super chats. Somebody just got a super chat that I read. But I'm going to read through these, whatchamacallit real quick. And we're going to get you on up out of here. Let me give a shout out to my man Leviathan who hit your boy with $10. There was somebody else whose name I needed to read that donated. I'm going to read the last three. Then I'm going to go to today's. Shout out to Karen Woolard. Hit your boy up with $10. Thank you so much. And my man Justin Clay will hit your boy up with $5. Thank you so much. And we're going to go ahead to my man Billy Goat. He says, peace family. Hit your boy with $2. Thank you, sir. Every little bit counts. Also, I want to give a shout out to Angela Harris. Hit your boy with $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And my man Jesse Huff hit your boy with $20. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. And also, Darnell Gary hit your boy up with $4. Thank you so much. He said, for a great show. Hey, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. And Andrea Lewis hit your boy up with $5. Thank you so much for a great show. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate that. If you are watching this on the replay, please don't hesitate to donate. Click the like button. Bert Weezy hit me up with $9. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's much appreciated. Let me see here. Thomas Hazelwood, sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, just in case y'all didn't know, I do want to acknowledge this. We are over. Oh, Drayton Ferguson hit your boy with $5. Thank you so much. He said, for what? On the Lion Tribe 79. What? Hold on, let me see what that says. That was funny. Let's see. He said the Lion Tribe 79 in the chat. Okay, for sure. Appreciate you. But I do want to say this. It's like, thank you for the like. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do want to say this. For those of you who's watching this on the replay, go ahead, click that like button, click that subscribe button, share this out, hit your boy on the PayPal. It's all to the good. I appreciate it. Every little bit counts. But yeah, if there were anybody that had any questions or anything like that, please, if you're watching this on the replay, you can leave it in the chat. And also, not in the chat, but in the comment section on the channel. And if anybody got any questions now, I got a few more minutes. I'm trying to stay right up under 2 hours. So if there's any other questions, I can do that as well. But thank you so much for the donation. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Such a good topic. I just hope that people will get to the point to where even though we may have differences and we may look at things in different ways, you still have to take what a person is saying or what a person is not saying and hold them accountable to it. The fact that this happened in the city and you had 104 people get shot, 19 people get killed, and the only thing that you have your superintendent saying is that we're doing our job, they're not locking people up. You got Kim Fox saying, the prosecuting attorney, district attorney saying, we got to have people get locked up in order for us to actually prosecute them. And then have your mayor saying, well, we need the government to do some make sense gun laws for us, and then we could change this, we could get this crime down. It's the fact that they're able to go over to Indiana and buy guns. It's the fact that they have military style weapons. Those 104 people that got shot, I bet you less than 10 of them got shot with rifles. They were shot with handguns. Because statistics show that the overwhelming majority of gun violence is done with a handgun. Very few are done with rifles or shotguns. I just don't understand why we see these people dying, why we see these people living in these conditions, and we're not saying anything about it. And I would hope that this video, I would hope that the more that these people see videos like this, holding these people accountable and just talking out and calling out the flat out bullshit that they're saying to us as it being disrespectful and it being insulting, to the point where we do something about it. I don't think the Bears are going to move, man. It could happen just because if they could move to a different area in Chicago, not in Chicago, but in Illinois, and still be close enough. But it would have to be a Jerry Jones type of facility that would have people do that. I believe, though, that the Bears are still going to be the Bears, whether they're in Arlington Heights or whether they're in downtown Chicago. It could definitely help to some degree if they were to move, as far as just a better stadium, bigger stadium, being able to just do more, and especially with the taxes and stuff that they would be able to pay, not have to pay. I get why they would consider moving, but I'm not sure that that's going to be something that's just going to happen, because it's like, it could, but the time frame of it happening, the likelihood of it happening, it would really have to be a lot going on for the Bears in order for this to even be intriguing and to be looking like the best thing to do. Just saying. If I was the Bears, I'd definitely entertain it. If I can get the cheaper taxes, get some kickbacks, get some assistance from the area and stuff, looking at what that area would do, I would definitely, what I could do with that area, I would definitely entertain it. So, could be a possibility, but the likelihood of it happening anytime soon, I doubt it. That would take quite a few years to get something like that done. So, I would be surprised if that was one of those overnight things. Bears are moving, so nah, not sure. Don't think so. But never know. You never know. But I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm out. Smoke the Great One sent me $50. He says for keeping it up, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hit your boy up with the 50 piece, my man. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a good night. Like I said, please feel free to give me a shout in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. If you got any questions, do just that and send them my way. But the media at the moment and those that are going for the power grab want to race war, telling you right now, guys, it won't be a race war. Man, I say it like this. You have to look at, and shout out to Deluxe 24/7, hit your boy with $5. You have to look at the fact that these people are willing to play games with your lives and your safety and the safety of your loved ones just because of the political agendas that they're running. Because there's a lot of different reasons. It could be they're letting the city burn like this, not literally, but figuratively. They're letting it burn like this because of real estate. There's a lot of money to be made with property taxes going down. Andrew McGinnis, hit your boy with $1. Thank you so much. There's a lot of real estate, of financial gains to be had doing real estate. And like I said early on, it was the thing to do because it made it look like the president at the time, Donald Trump, didn't or wasn't having any type of effect or wasn't running the country because there were so many states and so many cities that were having these issues, and they wanted to make it seem like it was his fault. But he's long gone and it's still going on. So whose fault is it now? The people who've always been there. They just don't give a shit. So, that being said, I want to thank everybody. Y'all have a good night. I love y'all. Peace. And I'm out. What's going on, everybody out there in the internet world? It's me, Brian Redmond, also known as the Relationship Rehab. And I need you to do two things. What are those two things? Subscribing to both my channels. I need you to go to the Relationship Rehab, subscribe to that channel, and then I need you to go to United Guns of America and go to that channel. Now you may be asking, why would I do that, Brian? Because it's two of the hottest channels on the internet. Come over there, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, have conversations, because that's what it's all about. We talk about some of everything: politics, relationships, guns, law enforcement, community stuff, anything that's happening. I'm willing to have a conversation about it, so come on over. You don't got nothing else to lose, and you ain't got nothing else to do. So come to my channel, subscribe ASAP, and join in on the fun. Twice the entertainment, 2 channels, twice the fun. Come on and have a funky good time with your boy. Peace, and I'm out. Check out that Pop